Hello, my name's Carl Watson and welcome to this series of videos I'm doing on weekend breaks within the UK. Now normally when there isn't a global pandemic on, I go off travelling and make documentaries of my adventures around the world. So whilst I'm waiting for the borders to open properly again, I thought I'd use this time to show off my own country for a change. So this weekend I'm down at my mum's place in Broadstone in Dorset, which is just a couple of hours on the train from London. And now the Dorset countryside is just gorgeous, it's stunning. You might be familiar with it, you've probably seen Durdledore on Instagram, it's like everyone gets their picture taken there, or you might have seen the crowds on Bournemouth Beach, but there's so much more to it than that. It was actually very hard trying to pick two walks to actually do this weekend. There's so many to choose from, how am I going to just pick two to put in this video? But then I had this sort of genius light bulb moment of going, well, it's not like the only time I'm ever going to visit my mum. I can just come back and do some more another time. So we've picked two. The first one's going to be at Khorf Castle. Beautiful little castle village. Going to do a walk to the coastline and back from there. And on the second day we'll head to Worth Matravers, another lovely little village, and head out to Dancing Ledge on the famous Jurassic Coast and have this beautiful walk along the coastline back from there. Possibly the cutest sign you'll ever see in a village is a warning of ducks crossing the road. So that there is a dinosaur footprint. I'm filming this on Easter weekend, so yeah, the cafes and the pubs aren't open just yet, which is always frustrating. Like whenever you're out walking in the countryside, it's always nice to stop for a sort of a good pint in the country pub at the end. But I can point to them, so and I'll point them out as we go, because by the time you see this video, they will be open and you'll know where to go if you come and spend the weekend in Dorset. So let's get to it. To begin our first day out, we'll be making a short half-hour drive to the village of Korf Castle. Alright, so we parked up the Korf Castle National Trust car park, and you want to get here early because this place fills up really quick. And it's sunny today, but it's pretty cold. Let's see how we do temperature-wise. Got lots of stuff for families and kids here, like the pull-up signs. Learn about wildlife and stuff like that as you go. So to start off with, we can do this loop around the castle into the village. You can just go straight from the car park into the village, but if you do this little loop around the back, got a lovely little stream next to you, birds tweeting in the background, nice and peaceful, and all the ruins of the castle right above you here.
Korf Castle was built in the 11th century by William the Conqueror. It remained a royal castle until 1572, when Queen Elizabeth sold it to her chancellor. It was later besieged twice, in 1643 and 1646 during the English Civil War. Being one of the last remaining royalist strongholds in southern England, when it was finally overcome, Parliament ordered for it to be blown up from the inside by engineers. Today, it's owned by the National Trust, and the ruins tower over the village of Korf.
It is Korf Village. Korf Castle is like your classic sort of English country village. You know, there's the old castle on the hill, there's a church, a little square in the middle, all of the bakeries, tea shops, sweet shops. So this little coffee shop here is perfect for coming at the end of a walk. This museum was the smallest town hall building in all of England. It's just tiny. Over here we've got a tiny little pub which I wish was open as well. So it looks like an awesome little country pub.
Now, in and around Korf Castle, there's loads of different short walks you can do. But today, we're going to do something a bit longer as we head out to the coast through the Village of Kingston to the viewpoint of Swyre Head, then follow the coastline along before heading back inland and looping round on the hill to finish up with amazing views of the castle.
Yeah, cute. So we're heading up there. Signpost says Kingston that way and that way. We'll give this way a go. It's this way basically, roughly anyway. Obstacle course for us to go through. So with the lockdown, more people are discovering the countryside, but not everyone knows how to behave in the countryside. And not just, I don't mean to sound condescending, but it's just simple things like close the gate, keep your dog on the lead if you're near livestock and things like that. And like, you know, don't leave litter around. Sounds so basic, you know. Yeah, I'm not trying to make it sound like an after school special or something. Like, now little Timmy, when you're out in the countryside, remember to behave like this. But yeah, people forget sometimes. So, in fact, Mum's just told me there's been a new countryside code that's been published and updated. So yeah, maybe I'll link to that. Just so we can keep all this as beautiful as it should be. We just made it to the village of Kingston. Now this is another great village where you can start the walk from if you want to. And it's an awesome country pub with a huge beer garden. Views all the way back to Khorf Castle. So another good spot to start your walks from. So my mum leads Ramblers walks around here. So she's basically like the director of this video, like you need to film this, you need to mention this, you need to do all that. So this video is really directed by my mum. So now we're heading to Swyre Head, where we're going to get some epic views of the coastline, which is what Dorset is most famous for. This is what the Dorset Coast is all about. It's just gorgeous. Not very windy days, but the sea just looks like a nice blue carpet. Over there is Worth Cove, and behind that's Durdledore. You can see all the cruise ships parked up at Weymouth that aren't in use right now. Just stopped for our lunch break. This little field. Oh, it's how it's been windy. So whilst we're finishing up our lunch, yeah, the village of Kimmeridge here, that Kimmeridge Tower over there, a few years back they had to move that, was it 82 feet inland? 80 feet, 82 feet, or something like that. But basically, yeah, it was, as the cliff was eroding, it was in danger of falling off, so they had a huge operation to move it inland. But yeah, now we're going to walk just sort of through this valley up onto the ridge and then all the way along to Korf Castle. So about 2/3 way through?
Yeah,
about 2/3 the way through. But yeah, recharge after lunch, so let's keep going. We started over there, I've basically gone around up to there and up to here. I got on the home stretch. So more of me pointing at things. Over there's Poole, over there's Bournemouth, then right on the horizon over there's the Isle of Wight. But yeah, if you're visiting this region and you don't want to stay in the villages, want to stay in the town, you've got Poole and Bournemouth right there. One other thing I haven't mentioned about Khorf Castle is an old steam train that comes through. Where does it start, do you know?
it starts just north of here.
Alright, starts just north of here, goes through to Swanage, so it's like, yeah, you've got your perfect little old English village with the castle, then you've got the Hogwarts Express going through as well. Well, we made it back to Khorf Castle, just walking back down. Beautiful day for the walk, quite cold when the wind's blowing, but when it's sheltered it's been really warm. But yeah, awesome views from up here. And all the times you can stop in the village for a lovely cup of tea, you know, scone, cake, or even a nice pint in the country pub. But can't do that today. But by the time you watch this video, I'm sure it'll be over. So, Khorf Castle, first place to check out when you come to Dorset. Just check my Fitbit. It's just over a 9-mile walk what we've done for this whole loop. See, car park's full now. Well, beer gardens might not be open, but I can still have a beer in a garden, so cheers. Yeah, today with the drone I was getting that sort of epic 360, and then the drone just sort of lost connection with the controller. It's like aircraft disconnected. And those are the moments you're like, ah, and your heart's beating. And but you can still control it, so it's just not communicating properly. But you bring it back into land. You can just land it, or you can just catch it and then just flip it upside down, and then it just cuts the engines out. So I did that, but the engines didn't cut out, which is weird. I've never had that happen before. And so yeah, got a little scratch on my pinky, but it was all right. But yeah, gorgeous day out. And tomorrow we're heading to Worth Matravers and walking down the dancing ledge around there, so we'll be actually on the coast a lot more. So today was more about the castle and walking around the countryside around there. Tomorrow you see the coast a lot more up close and personal. See you tomorrow.
It's a slightly longer drive this morning, but the route takes us back through where we walked yesterday, through the villages of Korf and Kingston, before we head out to Worth Matravers.
So today we're at Worth Matravers. Behind the car park we've got a wood henge, which is basically like a Stonehenge made of wood. I think it was just made a few years back. It's also a nice sign saying overnight camping is not permitted, and probably about 4 vans who are overnight camping. But yeah, today we're going to be walking on the Priest's Way, the Smuggler's Way, and down the Dancing Ledge along the Jurassic Coast. It's a bit chilly right now because the wind, when the wind isn't blowing, the temperature's alright, but when the wind starts going, it's chilly. But I think once we start walking, it should be all right. So that's the plan. Possibly the cutest sign you'll ever see in a village is a warning of ducks crossing the road.
We'll explore the village properly at the end of the walk, but first we're heading out east along the Priest's Way. The Priest's Way is an ancient tract that gets its name because it's the way that the local priest used to travel back and forth between the churches in his care from Worth Matravers down to Swanage. Now, just off the main footpath are some dinosaur foot tracks. The Jurassic Coast we're walking along gets its name because there are rocks and fossils here that offer almost a complete record of the Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, dating back from around 250 to 65 million years ago.
So that there is a dinosaur footprint. Yeah, scattered across this old quarry are these dinosaur tracks from sauropods that would have walked here 145 million years ago. They reckon there was like a waterfall here, and that's why the tracks were discovered in this quarry. So just over there in distance, the Swanage. It's not too far away. But yeah, that's the village down there where the steam train from Khorf Castle goes to Swanage down there. How's Matt doing the rounds? Alright, so we turn off from Priest's Way, start heading down to Dancing Ledge, and then we're going to be on the coastline for most of the rest of the walk, really. So in here, we're in Swyre Barn, which the smugglers used to use to store goods in, apparently. Now they've got tons of information on all the activities to do around here, like climbing, walking, conservation, as well as the history. The people history and the natural history.
This is part of what we're doing, right? We're doing a bit more.
Yeah. Down here, there's a lovely spot on this walk called Scratch Our Swyre. This is where the views start to get epic. Dancing Ledge is one of Mum's most favourite spots on the whole of the coastline. You get lots of water sports going on here, like people jumping in, fishing, rock climbing. This used to be an old quarry. You can see tracks here where they used to load out the rocks onto the ships. And also over here, there's an area where the early 1900s they blasted out an area of the rock to make it like a swimming pool, so you can still see that now. I think I just missed it on camera, but it's a sea lion peeking his head out of the water just down here.
Right here,
The next part of the walk takes us along the famous Southwest Coast Path. It stretches for 630 miles, or just over 1,000 kilometres, around the southwestern tip of England, from Minehead in Somerset to Poole in Dorset.
So what the smugglers used to do, they bring shipments in from Europe of like alcohol and tobacco, and then they'd hide them in the quarry caves, and then the quarry workers, you know, they come to work each day with a big basket for their picnic lunch, their packed lunch, but when they'd leave the quarry, their basket would be full again, just taking the goods back to town. So they were kind of the drug mules of their time. Oh, there's an eye opener, make no mistake. But yeah, the main thing to do around here was just farming or quarrying, so to make some extra money, they get involved in the smuggling. So this is our picnic spot for the day. Some lovely snow beds just above the quarry that we're just in, and this is the view we got. So over here we've got a lighthouse and a chapel. The legend of this chapel, legends, it might not be officially correct, was it was built in the 12th century because a bride and groom were out on a boat and it hit the rocks and capsized in the water. So the bride's father built the chapel in their memory, but also put a beacon on top of it so other people wouldn't, you know, have the same fate and crack into the rocks. Now there's like a cross on top of the church, but it used to be a beacon. We've got a proper lighthouse here now instead. That's the legend. So over there is where we were yesterday. We're at the drone accident. The water's so blue here as well. It actually looks inviting. If it was a warmer day, it may be going, but not today. It's the part of the walk where if you want to get the easy way back to Worth Matravers, you can just stay along the top here. But the more interesting way is the stairs challenge, where you think, oh, we're nearly back, and you can go all the way down and all the way up.
Now, it was far too windy to hear the dialogue that I recorded here, but basically I was explaining there was a group of younger 20-year-olds who, when they got to the top of the stairs, were lying on the floor saying they wanted to throw up, whilst my mum smashed it all in one go without stopping. Below us here is Chapman's Pool, another spot that was perfect for smuggling in the early 19th century. And now we're heading back across the fields to Worth Matravers.
Back in Worth Matravers, watch out for ducks. Could be ducks crossing, pretty hazardous. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous village. I'm sure I've got some old home video footage of us having a beer in that garden. Maybe I'll cut to that now. Remind you of simpler times. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed this little video of a weekend in Dorset. Like I said at the start, that was all shot in Easter weekend 21. It's now June 21 when I'm filming this outro, so all those pubs and tea shops and everything, they're all open, so you can go enjoy them now if you come visit the area. But there's so much to do in Dorset, there's just so much, so hopefully this video's giving you a couple of ideas of things you can do and see whilst you're down here. When it came to editing this though, one of my favourite moments that didn't make the cut was we're at Dancing Ledge, which is like my mum's favourite spot, and I wanted to get like a really just a nice sweet shot of us just sitting together enjoying it. Like, you know, we always stop there for like a little drink and a snack. I'll put the camera down far away, get a nice shot of us sitting together, so I put it down, but I'd lined it up wrong, so when I actually sat down, I basically just completely blocked my mum out of the shot. So rather than it being like a nice sweet shot of us sitting together enjoying the view, it looked a bit like I was like trying to block my mum out of the shot, like, get out the limelight, it's my video, not yours. But the reason I'm back in Dorset now is this weekend my mum and I are going to Cornwall, so that's going to be the next video. Hopefully she'll be online just a week after this. So, you know, thanks for watching as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, notifications, all that usual nonsense. And I'll see you next week in Cornwall.